front of the government mansions, and a few hundred people, wonderful Minnesota, came to thank the government for supporting the Syrian refugees. We have a few speakers from Syria and other organizations that addressed this audience. And it was a very welcoming audience, asking to welcome the refugee in Minnesota. And one of the few governors in the state, Governor Dayton, who really took a political risk and declared that opening up this state to the Syrian refugees.
Minnesota, where we have given welcome to refugees from all over the world, we know that this is not a one-time situation. Sadly, this is something that happens over and over again in our world. And we hope that Minnesota can be a place, a beacon for the world that shows how we can welcome people and together create a strong, resilient, and enduring society.
One of the few times we're coming here to politicians to say thank you.
Right.
And you articulated that. Tell us a little bit about what was so important for you to organize such an event.
Sure, absolutely. Well, I know in the Interfaith Coalition on Immigration, we have just felt heartsick and so angry about watching what's been happening with, first of all, for people in Syria and in Iraq who are trying to escape, and then after surviving such devastation, to be received like they're criminals, to be rejected. We've been so frustrated, and we wanted to work together with a couple of solidarity groups with Syria to do this event and to say thank you to Governor Dayton for standing up and doing the right thing.
As a Syrian American, I find the Twin Cities to be one of the most American cities in the U.S. It was here that I learned the beautiful American ideals of youth empowerment, of accountability, responsibility, of activism.
Your daughter spoke very eloquently. You know, you've done a great job.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Although she's born here in the United States, but alhamdulillah, she loved doing good things to other people. She dedicated herself to serve other people. So, alhamdulillah, I'm proud of her.
Now, the Syrian refugee could be like my fellow council member Chris Tober said, that our next mayor, our next senator could be in one of those refugee camps, and they deserve an opportunity to thrive in this country, to start again, to contribute to Minnesota, to make Minnesota the best place there is in the United States.
You made a brilliant connection between the monk experience as far as refugees coming to this country. Can you make that connection and elaborate a little bit how this experience of the monk community connected to the Syrian refugees?
Absolutely. The reason why we came here was because of the secret war in Laos, and it spilled over from the Vietnam conflict in Vietnam. And all of those wars where the United States government, our government, was involved in that. And that's a result. We came here. It's the same situation that's happening in Syria right now. And that is why we have to stand up for the Syrian refugee and all refugees.
I'm thanking the Governor Dayton also for his stand on welcoming the Syrian refugees. Besides, all the other, on contrast to the other governors, especially Republican governors, that they were against.
Dignity, not detention, is our slogan because we're concerned about detention and deportations.
We can't eliminate refugee if we don't eliminate war. And if we're involved in these wars, and so we have to be accountable.
You're talking about not just the Syrian refugees, it's really an immigrant problem.
Well, and one of the things that we see as Americans is we see our foreign policy over and over around the world, whether it's in Southeast Asia, whether it's in East Africa, whether it's in the Middle East, or whether it's in Central and South America. We see our American policies creating conflict situations that result in refugees.
Currently living in St. Paul told us those with the coldest weather have the warmest heart. That is so true. So Minnesota nice and Minnesota awesome. Thank you.
The refugees, role in this country is very important and very historical. Why is it still difficult for some of the politicians to sign off on this welcoming refugees from Syria?
Well, I can't speak for those who stand against Syrian refugee or any refugee. I can only speak on my behalf of myself that I support refugee coming here. I agree with you that this is a country of refugee or immigrants. Whether you cross over the Atlantic or you fly here or whatever, the greatness of this country is made up of immigrants and refugees, and I believe in that ideal and I support that. And I also agree. I also believe that we should be helping those that least are among us, especially those who our government is responsible for creating these situations.
Cries she with quiet lips, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door."